Talk about the whole program when you walked in there because
Mhm.
are you at the LCC West campus?
Yes.
Okay. Talk about the whole situation, the whole setup over there, and what you're offering, what LCC has to offer. How impressed were you when you start seeing the labs and the shops and all that?
Well, as I said, I used to work at LCC, Lansing Community College, over 20 years ago, and I started out in the HVAC department, and that's when the HVAC department was down at the downtown campus, and so they had just broken ground on the West campus as I was transitioning out of LCC back then, and so I had a chance to see it in its very, very early stages when they had just broken ground and just had just some of the foundational work up. And so going back, here 20 plus years later, and seeing a finished product and seeing a designated area for the different trades and the new technologies and just, the whole beauty, if you will, of the atmosphere. Because I do like that about the West Campus is it's kind of tucked away by itself. And but when you reach the campus and you walk through those doors, you have this very inviting, kind of happy, experience, and it's pretty. So I think those are great things to experience, from just a kind of refire or revisit, if you will, perspective. And then looking at the actual program itself, I'm in a unique position now because I have been the faculty member designated for reaccreditation for the construction management and building department. And so I am, I guess, kind of privy to seeing some things at a slightly higher level than maybe just being a faculty member.
How important is,
And
excuse me, Rob, but how important is that accreditation?
it is vitally important because that's where you get your recognition from the industry and from other collegiate institutions. So it's everything for a given, department. And so it's exciting to be a part of such an important project. And, especially considering, the things that I've been doing have put me on a pathway, I guess, to wanting to really contribute to the educational aspects of the construction industry.
So
And
welcome
so,
to higher ed, where you get handed off this. Oh, by the way, here's a little thing for you that we need you to manage, and it's
exactly.
no big deal. It's just the
Yeah,
whole foundation for all the programs. No problem.
exactly. It's been interesting because, when I've attended different events on behalf of the college and have been encouraged to introduce myself kind of different than how I see myself because, my specific title, like I said, is assistant professor. But they have me in leading roles in some ways, or at least that's the way it kind of feels and appears based upon how other people are dealing with me. But nonetheless, the construction drainage department, I'm very excited about it because looking at the intricacies of the various different courses that we offer and looking at the diverse staff that we have, and I'm excited to be a part of that diverse staff and to bring some unique approaches to teaching in the construction trades area. I think LCC is on a pathway to have a very, very, not that we don't currently have a solid program, but I think we're really going to have a truly solidified program in the near future.
How would you like students, parents, grandparents to connect with you if they have questions on any of your programs?
Well, the very best way to connect with me would be to email me directly. I monitor my email pretty much 24/7. And so depending upon what the, um, I guess, urgency of the messages, I can respond really quickly that way. And so my email is Helm, my last name, HELM, like Mary, R3 at lcc.edu. Or you can contact our office directly at 517-483-1336. And as I said, email is really the best for me because I am currently like traveling and doing some other programs and things of that nature. And so I definitely, if you email me, I can respond to you quickly.
You started to describe you're going through some of the courses and how involved they are. And
Mhm.
what's your opinion on what we're offering, what we as taxpayers are offering our young people coming into because the construction industry, and I know this very well because my daughter Ashley has her master's degree in construction management and has been in the industry for a long time. everything is shifting and changing and jiving and doing all kinds of crazy things. So talk about the curriculum that you're coming across 20 years later at your new building.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the curriculum is very impressive. We offer a very large array of classes, at different times, obviously, but it's pretty exciting to see where the industry is going. Part of my contribution, if you will, to the reaccreditation of our program is to introduce more cutting edge technologies that, such as AI, that are becoming more and more relevant to the construction industry in different aspects. And so I think what we currently have is very solid and very sound. But I really want to help us get on track to be kind of on the forefront of these technologies that are being introduced to the construction industry. So, we're focused on green materials and green building and that type of thing. And so now technology has an opportunity to contribute some beneficial aspects like that as well.
Rob, how has commercial construction, because we're talking a lot of commercial, we can talk some residential stuff, but I'm referring to commercial.
Hmm.
How has that changed in your 20 years now that you're back to LCC in a assistant professor's role? Personally, I kind of know the answer to this question, but what have you seen?
Well, definitely a enhanced focus on energy efficiency, I
Hmm.
think is probably one of the most important. And the other aspect, as I said, the green building or renewable construction, if you will. I think those are like probably the key changes that have happened since, when I first, if you will, entered into the industry, because everything before was, two by fours and drywall. And now there's so many unique materials and unique methods of building that you almost have to research, what options are available now because there's so many different options that can fit various different needs in terms of building or structural needs, if you will, or even consumer needs. And so I think those are the things that, for me, that I've noticed that have changed the most. That, and then the speed in which things get done. Because when we look back, well, 20 years is probably not far enough, but if we go back maybe 50 years and we look at how the construction industry was at that time, which is before my time, but we're able to kind of draw a parallel between how things were built back then. As we say, they were stronger and better back, then. And now, we are building things, I think, with high quality, but not with the same level of mastery. And so that's what I'm excited about, being a part of the construction industry and the path that is headed in, because as you stated, there is a tremendous need for, minorities and women and pretty much anybody who is capable to enter into this industry. You will hear more and more and more, as I have, when people saying, hey, you need to, think about the trades, because there's so much money to be made, and things of that nature. So I'm really focused on helping try to, encourage people to take that path and help them realize that the path of construction is not like an alternative path, like you might see alternative education, for instance, right?
Right.
I think there's some sound opportunity within the realm of the construction industry.
So talk about all of the different options in construction management. There are so many different fields. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's not swinging a hammer.
Right. Well, yeah, especially from the management side. The way that I kind of view the two different from the construction management versus building and construction is, as you stated, the construction management is more about organizing the job, layering it so that you can you meet your time deadlines, that you can accommodate a successful flow of the
Materials.
contribution, well, not just the materials, but the contributions of the various subcontractors too, because part of planning out that job is knowing what contractors you need for what type of work, and how much time it's going to take. Like all of those variables that go into that are almost like items that are, there's almost a position for each one of those. So you were talking about the superintendent. So if you have a organization that is, let's just say, well fitted with people for all of the different aspects of collecting those data points and monitoring those data points. That's how you're able to tackle those large multi-million-dollar projects, is by having, teams of people who focus on certain elements of that job to make sure that the flow is unobstructed. And so that, from a construction management side, doesn't require, as you said, swinging hammers. It definitely does require you to have some sense of what it takes to get the job done. And so yeah, I think, from the construction management side, if individuals have a desire to, grow in a leadership type of way, construction management is a really good move to make in that way, because um, a lot of the skills are transferable. So, managing people is a part of almost all corporations, or managing projects could be a part of all types of industries. And so, a lot of those skills are transferable. So, construction management is, I think, a great introduction into an industry if you don't have the physical hands-on skills.
Describing to me. And a
Yeah.
word that, as you're talking, Rob, I'm thinking, I hear Linda Way, your wife, talking, and one of her key words and what you were saying is integrity. You want to have integrity with your,
Hmm.
and the other thing I thought about is, if you have and establish a very strong foundation of integrity within your program and
Hmm.
with your graduates, that means that when the employers come, they know. It's like at Michigan State. I know for a fact that the construction management program over there, because my daughter went through the program, I know
Hmm.
that the placement of their graduates, because it's a very small program, it's it's got tough classes. The
Hmm.
placement for those kids is about 95%. I mean, we're
Mm.
talking
Wow.
almost 100% get jobs because of the rep, because of
Hmm.
the integrity of the program. And I think that's what I'm hearing you say, Rob, is you're trying to elevate this program through the reaccreditation and all of those things. You got the beautiful
Hmm.
facility over there. And so
Hmm.
is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it all, I think, comes together, as I said, for a new day of construction trades at LCC. At least if I have anything to say about it, because as a professor, those are the elements that I'm going to bring to the table. So I'll be teaching the theoretical aspects of, architecture or building construction or construction management, what have you. But it's going to stand on those fundamental professionalism principles. So that's kind of the standard that you will have when you enter into the door of my classroom. That's what you can expect.
Well, Rob, and I'd like you to just have a long takeaway and plug the heck out of the LCC skilled trades program and skilled trades, period, at the high school level, at the voc
Right.
tech level, at
Yeah.
any level. Please take plenty of time here to give the Rob Helm rah-rah speech why maybe you want to consider you're a high school sophomore, junior, and you're kind of on the fence. Let's do the pitch.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first and foremost, I'll just say that, if you are part of the Lansing community, local and regional, if you will, we would love to have you join our program. We are looking for additional adjunct professors as well, because our goal is to deliver high quality education as it relates to building and construction trades. I think that students, whether you are a sophomore or even a freshman, because I think you mentioned workshop or wood shop, excuse me, and other, elective classes like that. Lots of students are, doing those types of programs maybe to just gain some space in school. But take a serious look at it. Take a real serious look at it, because if you have an interest in having a career that is sustainable, that is in demand, and continues to be in demand, you really want to think about the trades, whether it's construction trades or mechanics or whatever, that may not be your traditional educational path. And so LCC has a great program. We have great adjunct professors and faculty members, and a great support system. And that's what I'm most excited about, is the team of people that I'm working with can really help me bring my vision to life. And my vision, I should say, encompass with LCC's vision. Let me rephrase that. And so, I see a great future ahead of us that provides us an opportunity to change the course of the construction industry, at least here locally, to help encourage youth and other community people at large to participate in an industry that is very lucrative, and very rewarding.
Just give us a ballpark number for what your graduates can, and it's just a ballpark, anticipate earnings coming out. Different trades are different amounts, but it can be anywhere from boom to boom. What are we thinking here?
Wow. Well, you know what? I think it would be difficult for me to pinpoint that simply because there's lots of variables that go into that. Especially your location, for instance, right? If you're in a big city, if you're in a union, a lot of those factors really play into what you can expect to make. I'll speak to it from a slightly different angle because I'm an entrepreneur as well, and I have my own company and so forth. And so, what I always suggest to people is to, when you're involved in any work that um, there's opportunity to become a owner or to become a leader, to consider that because your potential for income becomes unlimited, uncapped. So, I would say that don't be so concerned about what you make when you first enter as to what you can make as you build your skill set.
It's wonderful. Love Rob Helm so much. Skilled trades in mid Michigan at Lansing Community College. Really need to think about the skilled trades. Skilled trades really gave us everything that we have here with the telecom side of things. And actually, when I started in telecom wasn't a skilled trade yet. It evolved into a skilled trade like an electrician as the low voltage side of things. But there's so many aspects. And let me tell you guys, coming like with my daughter Ashley and all her stuff, it ain't swinging hammers, baby. And she's making jack. And she's earning it, but she's making jack. And you can make jack. And you're looking at six figures easy, easy. Check it out. Lansing Community College, their skilled trades program, architecture, building construction, civil technologies, construction management, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Rob Helm is the bomb. Love him. He's greatness. I'm Papa Tom. Until next time, everybody, peace out. Love y'all. Have a great week.